Hello there, I'm Connie.
Hello, I'm Dobbs.
Welcome to The Worry Book, a podcast for anyone who has ever worried about anything ever. In each episode, we'll be exploring a subject that we worry about while trying not to make matters worse or falling out with each other. And this week, we're worrying about achievements, or the lack thereof.
The lack thereof of achievements.
Yes.
My walls are strewn with darts trophies, fishing trophies, Formula 3 trophies.
Are they?
No.
Oh.
Although I do actually have some fishing... Well, no, I don't have them, but from my very young youth.
Your formative days, your formative fishing days.
My actual achievement of my life probably hit the heights when I was about 12.
Well, that sounds like a good age to kind of experience achievement in that sense. Did it set you then on a path of victory after victory after victory?
No.
Punctuated by yet more victories?
If I'm honest, it was at school. So I was into fishing, I was into football, and I would get moderately okay at these things. And just when I thought it would look like I would get slightly better, probably I would have to do more effort or something. So therefore, I chose something else. I'll tell you what, the music or the fishing's going okay, I'll do music. Even though I've never even picked up an instrument in my life, but it looks good.
So what I'm sensing there is that you, to a certain degree, maybe you sabotage those opportunities for victory, would you say? Because you could see that things were going in the right direction, but you almost kind of got scared of how good it could be.
Well, actually, in all seriousness, academically, if you want to talk academically, in the first 2 years of secondary school, so that's year 28 and 29 now, or whatever.
What about in old money? What is it in old money?
So when I was sort of 11, 12, 13, say, so just prior to doing my GCSEs, both of those years I won the year prize, or the form prize. Year prize? I'm not quite sure. But, I had to go and pick up a thing. I was smart.
You were
cookie.
top of the class?
I was top of the year. I think the second year, Patrick Kane just tipped me, so I was second. But
God,
yeah.
that's raw.
And then I chose my GCSEs, and my mum said, I asked her, what do you think I should do? And she said, just choose what you get less homework in.
Right, okay.
So I chose art, drama, motor vehicle engineering, absolutely no interest in cars whatsoever.
Handy though.
Well, I knew the teacher let us all go play football if we weren't that bothered. Didn't have to take humanities subjects, even though I was good at history. Well, I was definitely good at geography. I took design technology, which I did by accident. I meant to do woodwork, which was design realisation, but design technology had physics and stuff in. But I got a C, surprisingly. Okay. But basically, I did nothing at school. Just dossed around.
Oh, so
it was great.
Those choices sort of didn't necessarily scupper you?
Well, I couldn't be bothered. I was happy. I went to sixth form to reset some GCSEs, which was save me doing anything like A-levels where I'd have to put some work in. But mainly I sat in the common room drinking hot chocolate and playing cards. And then I didn't go to uni, but I wasn't that bothered in going to uni. In hindsight, at that point, with grants and stuff, that could have been a DOS too. So really, I should have carried it on. I still wouldn't be any further than I am now, but hey.
But in that sense, it sounds like you were achieving the whole way through, because you were achieving what you wanted to achieve,
Pretty much.
You achieved drinking hot chocolate, playing cards.
Yeah, well, that hot chocolate was soon...
Not doing any homework prior to that.
Well, I think the hot chocolate, at the age of about 17, turned into Barnstormer cider, £1.89 for 2 litres.
Devil.
And when you open the cap, it somehow smelt of eggs.
Right. Oh, that's an interesting
And I've still seen it about. So, Barnstormer cider, well... Take at your own risk. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
I'm not endorsing it, but
kind of sounds like you are. Maybe we'll get an
if
email.
I see it in a shop now, I am tempted. Even though Yeah, even though like I'm not drinking, it's
Okay.
still got one for old time's sake.
Ooh, at your peril,
That's
though.
the old mistress
I
barnstormer.
I don't think I'd particularly be keen to drink something that smelled of eggs.
No, well, on a good point, I'd go, oh, go on, just for old time's
'Cause
sake, and then
also
I would drink
things-
it, and then I'd be like, oh, that's no. So then I wouldn't drink again.
And things only really tend to smell of eggs when the eggs have gone off.
It's only that initial opening as well. It was like, oh, eggs gone, and then drink
That
the stuff.
reminds me of something else, which also I wouldn't get my
Oh,
mouth
excuse
to.
me.
Do you know what I was just going to say? If anyone heard a little rumble earlier on, I did do a little miniature belch, and you've
I've
just
lost it,
done
what
one
I've
that
just done.
wasn't quite so miniature. So yeah, achievements. That was an achievement. We both belched, and someone just knocked on the door. So
Yeah,
so
that was
exciting. Something that we've decided not to edit out. Yeah, basically a little package
real.
arrived.
Keep it real. A little package
This
arrived.
is just how it is, isn't it? And we managed to successfully weave that into a podcast, which is an achievement.
Yeah.
I think this podcast is an achievement. We've been umming and ahhing about it for flipping ages, and then we got off our asses and we just pressed record, or whatever all those buttons are that you've got on that big machine.
Yeah.
Um,
It is an achievement because we just normally sit around, probably saying the same stuff.
exactly,
But,
we do.
So hopefully it's of interest, and hopefully our achievement of actually getting off our asses and recording it is entertaining to somebody.
Oh, I hope so. But I'm not needy. But I really, really hope so, because it'll be an achievement for me, and it might even be one of my lifetime achievements. Because let's have a think. You know, what are the usual things that people achieve? Well, they achieve the ability to drive. Now that came to me late in life.
Me too.
Let's just say mid to late 30s, and the ability to drive came to me after 5 attempts at the test. So although I did follow in the footsteps of my mum and my sister in the 5 tests before legality
I also took 5 tests.
which I think is wonderful, and
Passed.
it brings us closer.
Yeah, I passed in my sort of late 20s, something like that. Probably learnt to drive in my
Oh,
mid
well
30s.
Right.
Had the worst car to drive in the world because the gears got stuck and was probably some kind of death trap. But it seemed to get through its MOT relatively unscathed each time. So it was like, oh, I'll keep it. But it was dangerous.
It got the job done. Just.
Yeah, it almost did get the job done. That's why I scrapped it.
I had an issue with roundabouts for a bit. That's why I failed one of my tests, because they hadn't. The issue was really that I hadn't been taught how to do roundabouts, or that I hadn't concentrated when I was being taught how to do roundabouts. It could be the latter. And there I was on my test, going out into one of probably about the top 5 busiest roundabouts in South London, and just not knowing where the traffic was coming from. So I basically just pulled out and then stopped, and then sort of looked around, and then the well, I guess it's the examiner rather than the instructor.
The examiner. This was on a test.
This was on a test, yeah. And then they just did that awful thing of like gripping the side of the door, and just kind of, and I knew, and I'd heard people say it had happened to them, and it was sort of a joke. It was like, oh yeah, they gripped the side of the door and their face went kind of like angry red, and that actually happened. And they just said, yeah, you failed. So, and then I managed to drive us home, but there were some angry people on that roundabout.
I can imagine.
Angry. Particularly because it took me a while to then work my way out of this kind of stopped position in the middle of a roundabout involving reversing.
Well, London's an easy place to drive. It's not like busy. It's quite quiet. And
They do say, though, if you can drive in London, you can drive anywhere.
True, but you couldn't drive in London.
But I couldn't drive in London at that point. Although I'm now very out of practice because I don't have a car anymore. Nothing bad's happened. It wasn't taken away from me. I still have the card. I mean, the license. What is it? A card?
It's a license, but it's on a card. So, hey.
I've got it there with my little co-op card. They're probably
Joined at the hip.
similar in value to me, but the co-op card definitely gets more use at the moment. But yeah, I haven't driven for a long time, but I'm still proud that I got there. And I'm also proud. What else am I proud of? Because that's the thing, we're worrying, or I've been worrying about whether I've achieved enough. And I'm not sure that at the age I am, let's just say, let's do a little test for our listeners. 10 years older than I was when I said I'd passed my test, which was mid-30s, early to mid-30s.
Okay.
So 10 years on, have I achieved much more? Well, what would you say? Oh, another little
know.
belch. Maybe
I didn't know you 10 years ago, so it's hard to say.
No, that's true.
I think as far as I can only talk about myself and things, I think my life has been a series of tiny, insignificant achievements. Or not insignificant completely, but, little things that have pleased me that most people probably go, oh, yeah, that's nice. And then, oh, that's great. And then you move on. And then, so no one's gone, oh, that's an amazing, what an achievement. Oh,
Are they more talking points?
Well, it's like, or I've played in the band here, or played with this other band.
Glastonbury.
Well, I have, yeah.
That is
it's funny
a biggie.
you should mention that. Yes, I did play Glastonbury.
Bask in that glory.
Yeah, I mean, all 30 people must have absolutely been crazy for it.
But it was
it was more than that, but
the G word. So.
But it was. People say it and go, "Oh wow, did you play Glastonbury? Oh, are you on the red button?" No, we were in a cut-out tube train, which was fantastic.
Yeah, sounds it.
And we got a free pass for 3 days. And we got invited back the year after. No, we didn't. The year after that, we got invited back, which was the year 2020, when all the festivals stopped.
Oh, bad timing. I bet you wish it was the year before.
Yeah, I do actually. But that's fine. That's okay. But the kind of that's a great achievement, I suppose. But
you see, I like the idea of like lots of little random achievements sort of mounting up to being the person that you are, because when you think of the big ones, it's like, an achievement is sort of, getting married, buying a house, having children, they're big ones. One that just sprung to mind for me, for some reason, on the back of you talking about your Glastonbury glory, was that I was once in the audience of a lecture that Jeremy Paxman gave. And he was talking about his new book. Again, this was some time ago. I'm sure it's still available. The English, it's called. And he put out an offer for the audience to ask questions. And I did. And I stumped him.
You stumped Jeremy Paxman? I stumped
Paxo.
That's impressive.
And to be honest, that for me was an achievement, because although he did manage to get it together, a little bit flustered. But, for me, and I was sat with my dad at the time, I was like, yes. I'm basically like a sort of young female Michael Howard. That's an old reference to a Paxo Newsnight interview that went horribly wrong for a former Home Secretary.
Okay.
We'll veer away from it, but it's worth looking at on YouTube. But yeah, the other way round, because I was the one doing the questioning, and it was great, and I'm a big admirer of his. But for me, that was like, yes, I've got something there, which makes me kind of, for that one moment in time, I was kind of like his equal.
A sense of power, a
sense of power,
achievement, and a sense
achievement, power and achievement,
stature almost.
Yeah.
Well done.
But I just kept it.
That's a great
I
one.
kept it to myself. I didn't really tell anyone. I didn't whoop. I think a little bit of wee might have come out.
It wasn't on Newsnight or anything.
As excitement, but
not
no,
Newsnight,
it wasn't.
But yeah, Newsnight. No, is it Newsnight?
That he presents or
Question Time? I'm thinking.
No, and I haven't been invited on since. Which, to be honest, if anyone had seen me, I think they might have thought, "Wow, let's get her on. She's obviously got the skills." But no, I have done 2 stand-up gigs. That's an achievement.
Good. That's very good.
And I feel like they went okay. Actually, they were to friendly crowds. They didn't particularly have a theme. They were much like this. They were just me rambling on with no particular focal point. apart from just 5 words written on a post-it note, one of which was about me having sanitary towels strapped to my calves to prevent chafing during a horse riding excursion.
That's pretty resourceful.
So you can see why the comedy sort of stopped at the 2 gigs point. It was quite confessional, and but I did get up there. I did get told that I'd gone over time, so I've obviously got lots of material. I was told that if I went over time again, I wouldn't be invited back.
Was this the second time or the first time?
This was the second time.
And you never got invited back?
No.
Ah.
But I didn't let it put me off. But like you said, it's kind of I almost did it, and then I thought, right, let's not let this get to a point where it might become an actual thing. Let's move on to something else that I can just pursue for a while until I get bored of it, or until the fear of failure sets in, and then my achievement will never be realised, but at least I won't have failed. Now there's an interesting philosophical point for you, if I can be so bold.
Absolutely. Well, it's like the old, if you don't try, you don't fail. I never went to uni, never really tried that hard. I did music, but that's good because with music you can always hide. It's art, man. It's how it's supposed to be. If people don't like it, then that's just their problem. If you don't get it, they don't get it.
And you could hide behind your guitar because they are quite big and kind of head-shaped.
Smoke machines, bigger members of the band.
Riggs.
That's
not a person, by the way.
It's not the guy from Lethal Weapon. I've never been on stage with him, even though that would have been Mel Gibson, I believe, was Riggs.
Right. Okay. Or Rigsby from Rising Damp. I can't imagine him.
Not Rigsby. No.
Being in a
both
band.
of them were probably very much bigots.
Right. Okay.
But so I don't really want to hide behind them.
No.
But
never hide behind a bigot.
Try not to. Try to do my best.
There's a lesson.
Never hide behind a bigot. There's a t-shirt slogan.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to put everything into t-shirt design. Achieve. One will just say achieve.
Achieve world-class notoriety with your t-shirt slogan design business.
Slogan designs or pictures, or I'll get like a celebrity like.
You could do one for me.
Dua Lipa.
Oh, you have trouble with her name, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
Shall we try?
Oh, I had it. It's Lipa.
That's correct.
And it's bloody hell, whatever, I forgot. Dua Lipa.
Yeah.
I don't.
It's quite easy, really.
Yeah, no, but I only knew she existed.
What's the other one you have trouble with? Different genre.
No, Omid.
Correct.
Oh no.
Go on. You broke it down into 2 syllables.
It's not.
One of them's one of your favourite girls' names.
Darjeeli. Omid Darjeeli?
Almost. So close. So close.
Omid.
I don't want to give it to you. What's one of your favourite girls' names?
Petra.
It's not that.
Omid.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
We're
either.
really right. We need to end this.
Okay.
Lily. So it's Omid.
Jalili.
Jalili.
Bloody hell.
Right. Well, that's okay. That's locked in now. So
well, it probably isn't.
So you could basically, going back to your slogans, you could get Dua Lipa and Omid Jalili on board.
They're my celebrities.
Yeah,
I think I've got a good base.
They've both got strong followings, so you'll get
them on there, and we'll get them on some t-shirts.
Some influencer points.
I think there'll be different sizes, if I'm honest. But
this is sounding like very much like you found a focal point.
Yeah, and it'll all have like slogans and big statements.
Great.
Political fire. It'll be political fire.
T-shirts with guts
hanging
out. You could do one for me that says "I scuppered Paxo."
You scuppered Paxo.
Oof, with like a fist or something.
Yeah, you never told us what the question was, but I'm presuming that's because it wouldn't be that relevant now.
Well, and also because I've forgotten. But it was really. I mean, I do actually remember. It was so succinct, and it was just beautiful. And I've always tried to capture that again since in my working life,
Well,
in
when you're talking to
in
anyone.
conversations, and I've never quite managed it because most people just say, yeah, all right now, or, like they kind of give me the eyes where it's like, wind it up, what's the point?
Yeah.
But at that one moment I was so succinct.
I'm impressed. I don't think I've ever been that concise or professional in my life.
Well, there's always time, and that's the
something I
thing.
might have achieved, but
We can learn from others' achievements. We can look at, for example, we can look at the achievements of politicians, and we can say,
Okay.
well,
Yeah.
there's a lesson in what not to do most of the time. We can look at the achievements of those people who are benevolent, who give to others, and we can say, well, that would be a nice thing to emulate. You're looking at me like these things.
I completely
these things
agree,
aren't really resonating with you. Are you more?
No.
Are you more of the self-centered achievement
Well,
variety?
no. I think that's all wonderful, and it's all about helping everyone, man.
Is it?
Yeah, it's about feeding the world, bringing joy.
I've just thought of another slogan for you.
Feed the world. I think that's been used.
It's, you can hear the insincerity in my voice.
Just specifically for a t-shirt for me to wear. Okay. Thanks for that.
That's all right. But it'd be your talking point.
It could be,
Except people are probably doubt what you were saying because they think you're being insincere. But
could be.
But yeah, so there's benevolence. There's achieving good.
Achieving good. Sorry,
achieving
that
good things. Yeah. Achieving good things for yourself and others. I don't think I've done enough of that. I did befriend somebody. They wanted befriending. I didn't just kind of put a bag over their head and force them to
harass them.
Go places with me.
No, although that's detailed.
Although that's not a good idea. No, I befriended an elderly lady who was absolutely lovely called Jenny. And I did that through Age UK, and we became good friends for a couple of years. And she sadly passed away, and then I became friends with her daughter, and it was just a really lovely experience to do that. So I feel like that's an achievement. It's not, I didn't get a medal, I didn't get, any kind of reward for it, but personally, I think that was a real achievement. I got loads out of it. I was
going to say you achieved. You achieved yourself. You got a reward.
Yeah.
It was an achievement for doing a lovely thing for someone.
Yeah.
But also, you got the reward of feeling
A
good
warm
about it,
glow.
and also a friendship.
Yeah.
A genuine friendship.
I did, and
that's
we
a lot.
used to put the world to rights. I'd pop in and I'd say, Jenny, let's put the world to rights, and we did, and we talked about what was going on in the world and how
Brewing a
it was
biscuit.
all. Yeah, there was usually a brew and a biscuit, and sometimes I'd have a look at her feet because they were a bit. They were
Did you have
causing
to
her a bit
peel
of
them off
trouble.
and get like a
No,
file
they were
to
causing
it,
her
or
a
some
bit of
scissors,
trouble.
cut the hard bits off?
But I didn't mind. It's kind of that again. That was an achievement because there was a level of trust there. There was more going on than just the idle chit chat. There was there was a real bond there. So yeah.
That sounds really lovely.
So I'd say that's an achievement.
Yeah, makes me feel worse.
Worse.
Well, I've really not. What have I achieved? I've done nothing.
Well, now enough of that negative self-talk. Because if you're worrying about what you've not achieved, well, you're achieving every day.
Well,
You are.
I'm
What
achieving.
have you done? Just this past week, you've put out your second album.
Yeah.
What is that if not an achievement?
That is a massive achievement. Yep. linenol.bandcamp.com.
Yeah. Let's just slip that in there seamlessly.
Well, you've heard one of the songs in the first album.
Oh, it's
That's
on.
also
it's on,
available
it's our
on the
intro
website.
music,
So that's
isn't
the
it?
intro.
Yeah.
A little bit of country twang on that one.
It always reminds me of someone riding a
galloping
horse.
horse.
It's a lolloping horse.
It's a lolloping horse. Okay, that was. Well, I don't know what I was going for.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you. I suppose that is an achievement.
It is a massive achievement. So
I'm pleased with that. But
I'm gonna force you to acknowledge that achievement.
okay.
You're also a very accomplished cook. I would.
It's edible. All right.
The other day you made yellow thing, and the day
Yellow-
before that
yellow
you made
thing.
red thing.
Yellow thing, which is basically a bunch of sloppy split red lentils and any veg you can find, and a few spices and stuff, and just makes a big vat of
Yellow stuff.
splodgy, proper prison food.
Yeah,
and
tasty though.
And then I also make a red thing,
Yeah.
which is like a tomatoey pasta thing. And then I've got other things, but they're not colours.
And you know the fact that they've stood the test of time, haven't they?
They've had to move on a little bit.
They've
Certainly
adapted.
the yellow thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was horrible.
Right, okay.
But now it's okay.
I'd say that's more than passable.
It's bearable. It's definitely on the bearable.
I think
you know.
if they did it on MasterChef or something,
You'll go, that's bearable.
yeah, they'd be a bit
Maybe.
like,
Looks like dog sick, but it's bearable.
yeah.
Why have you put all that couscous on there? You maybe should have put it in a bowl because it's just spilled over and it's quite watery. Berate Greg. Just, don't worry, Greg. A cheesecake's coming, and then he's happy.
Oh, he's off.
his eyes is on the cheesecake then. And then
his thought processes have gone.
he's
somewhere
practically
else,
tasting cheesecake as he's tasting the yellow thing.
which
and
is
then-
helpful because the yellow thing tastes absolutely nothing like cheesecake. I'll be honest.
But to be honest, I wouldn't want that because that would increase my chances of getting through. And if I was on there, I wouldn't want to go through that because too many sharp knives.
And also, your aim is not to achieve the pinnacle.
Yes.
Your aim is to achieve somewhere about rung number 7 or 8.
That is probably true. A moderate level of achievement,
Yeah.
but nothing that's going to put my head above the water because therefore I'll get slapped by a massive awe.
Oh, that's a great way of putting
Awe.
it. Why would
Does
you
that sound all right in my accent?
the awe?
Awe.
Yeah.
As in one of those big
I
wooden
think
things
I'm
from
getting.
a boat.
I think I'm getting more
boat.
northern.
A boat.
Shall I worry about that next
Maybe
week?
in a moat.
A boat in a moat.
A boat in a moat
Or how
with an oar.
how I would have said
Maybe
it.
there was a goat in
boat
there.
a boat in a moat.
Drinking Coke.
Didn't understand that. Sorry.
No, it doesn't matter.
But yeah, I'm getting more northern. I think I'm going to worry about that for a while.
Probably should.
I think it's mainly because you're pretty much the only person I talk to. So
That's 2020 for you.
it's
So, yeah.
it's come to that. I'm taking on your characteristics. But, maybe I should... Becoming northern, that would be my achievement. An achievement for 2020.
Becoming
And
northern
also,
is fine. Becoming some kind of sort of accent, taking my accent and stuff is a little unfortunate.
a bit psychopathic, isn't it?
Just unfortunate, I think. It's gonna close doors for you.
Is it?
Yeah, we just said so.
Right. Okay.
You slam them. Probably.
I'll be slamming doors in my own face.
Oh, people go, what's that? What's this? What's he on about?
Would I also become a man?
Well, that's up to you.
Right. Okay, well, we'll see how it goes. I think some of it might be slightly out of my control. But, it's I'm just going to go with it at the moment because there's the odd word that I sort of slip in because, just for background, a little bit of backstory. Got no musical accompaniment, but, the backstory. So, I was born in Portsmouth, moved up to Manchester when I was 9. Got a bit of a Manc accent, having had a bit of a southern accent. Moved back down to Surrey. I'm so sorry.
It's not Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, is
right,
it? But,
okay.
but keep going.
And then moved to London and stayed there for quite a long time. And then all of my northernness had gone, and now I've been back for almost 2 years. And I think it is coming back a bit. But I think that is mainly because you've been my only reference point for language.
Probably to a southerner, you would sound a bit northern.
Right.
Probably to a northerner, you wouldn't sound northern.
Would I just sound weird and like I was putting it on and deserving of a slap?
No, not at all.
Right.
Not at all. Northerners are very, very open-minded.
Is
that a weird noise? I don't know if that was
I
it.
don't
It
know.
sounded like a cow.
It
But anyway,
sounded a bit like a sort of phone buzzing.
I don't think anyone out there would have heard it, so I shouldn't have brought it up, but I did.
You did,
I
because
did, and I'm staring at the mic like it's a camera, which you can't
real,
see, but that's what I'm doing.
It's real life.
It's real life, man.
It's real life, and
Man.
getting through this has been an achievement. I mean, we shouldn't just think big. We shouldn't always be thinking big picture. We should be thinking micro achievements. Maybe that's a theme for another time, but also maybe for 2021. Maybe we should all just focus on micro achievements. Getting out of bed in the morning, that's a micro achievement.
That's bigger than a micro achievement sometimes.
And making yourself some tea, maybe having a bit of a walk, that's a micro achievement. I think, we're ready probably to go and have our tea, which
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to.
A good achievement now will be sort of wrapping this up.
Wrapping it up. All right, you're doing the curly finger
I'm
thing.
doing the curly finger thing. Wrap this up.
Let's do it then.
Let's do it. Okay. Thank you, everyone, for listening to our ramblings.
Once again, it's been a pleasure. We'll speak to you again soon.
Tatty bye.
Find The Worry Book on Twitter and Instagram, and if you like what you're hearing, don't forget to subscribe. We're also supporting Mind, the mental health charity. If you'd like to make a donation, visit mind.org.uk. Thanks for listening, and bye for now.